It's all over. This thought hung over the heads of the new generation as they stood on the field once more. Jojo Melnick standing as their champion.
Thank you for coming, everyone. I would also like to thank all my peers here for their boundless courage and strength. I know I've come in last minute, but I hope we can all get along as we reach for greatness. My heart goes out to Mr. King Jack. I wish him a speedy recovery so that we can conclude our fight properly one day.
As the crowd applauded the boys' cheeriness, the rest of the new generation stood miserable, counting the seconds until they could leave. When at last the ceremony finished, the 15 fighters made their way to the locker rooms, Melnick staying behind for interviews. A heart attack. I can't believe it. Felix expressed to Remy as he changed out of his costume with the other men of the new generation. He was a sanguineous artifacts in bloom. Maybe that had an effect on him. Is that possible? I think it is. Desmond jumped in. Coach Sia was telling me about how Bloom drained the hell out of you. Said something like, it's too damn early for this shit, something like that. Kang's up there in age, too. I don't imagine that worked in his favor. I'm pretty old too, Lane One, but I don't think I'd suffer a heart attack from power boost I control. You control alcohol. I don't think it's as dangerous as bending your own blood. While we're on the topic, how do you get away with force-feeding me that swill? Force-feed? Felix mumbled under his breath, bringing a thumb to his teeth. Is something up? Remy inquired. No. Just thinking. After changing into their everyday wear and chatting with their peers a bit more, the two young men made their way into the halls of the arena, walking to the women's lockers to meet Jessica. Dad's coming down to get me. First runner-up and you still need Dad to come get you afterwards? Remy teased. Don't shut up. I'm sure it's happened before. As the boys walked down the hall, Jojo approached from the other side, stretching out as he moved, mason jars clanking against each other, syrup renewed.
God, I thought that would never end. How the hell do pros keep that up, huh?
Melnick stopped in place as he saw Felix and Remy quickly clearing his throat before greeting the two.
Hello!
Hi there. Felix greeted in return, followed by Remy. Hey.
You two are Felix and Remy, right? It's good to meet you.
Yeah. Nice to meet you too, I guess. Jojo looked around him before continuing.
Oh, look, let me break character here. I know this is pretty awkward for you guys.
Jojo said, voice a little lower, less boyish. No. What's harm there's throwing random fighters we don't know into our tournament?
Right.
Sorry about all this.
Well, I do hope we can get along. I'll be part of Cafe proper from now on, so I hope to truly earn my spot here. That's all I want to say. I'll see you around.
The young sugar artifacts walked past the two boys, making his way to the lockers with Felix called after. Can I ask you something?
Sure, go ahead, man.
Why'd you toss out that jaw stuff on the Jack?
The syrup? Well, he was kind of out of options with that armor of his, so I figured I'd formed razors on him. It would do something. I don't know, really. It was a pretty tough spot.
Wouldn't it have just been better to destroy the armor then? You managed a pretty thick barrier for a razor plane. And I saw you break a piece of something similar earlier in the fight to escape Jack. Surely you could have done the same then?
I didn't think of that. That would have been better, yeah.
Didn't think of it?
Hey, cut me some slack. It was my first official fight.
A first fight you had 2 months and a whole tournament to prepare for. Jojo gave Felix an annoyed look, taking another survey of the surroundings before walking back to the two men. Do you have a problem with me or something?
I get it, okay? I didn't go through the whole rigmarole you guys did.
It doesn't mean you poisoned Jack.
What?
You heard me. A tense silence fell over the three fighters, Melnick pacing around a moment before giving a bewildered chuckle.
I don't believe this. Did I What do you think I gave the old man? A sugar rush or something?
This is a pretty big accusation, Felix. Jack's our friend. I understand your indignation, but
he did something. You can't expect me to believe this guy's watched our entire tournament, but didn't have a better strategy than that shitty syrup razor trap? You did that to get into Jack's bloodstream. Oh my god, he was an old man fighting in a tournament where he had to constantly move the blood in his system to keep up. You think that armor he had in the end came up from nowhere? He was an old guy in a young man's game. And it didn't work out for him, alright? It's almost like he shouldn't have been here to begin with. You want to blame someone for this clog? Blame Cafabe.
Clog? Felix asked, confused.
Yeah, clog. That's how heart attacks work,
Jojo said, matter-of-factly. I don't think that's possible.
Are you seriously gonna ignore a natural phenomenon just to keep your stupid idea?
Are you?
What the hell are you talking about?
Jack was in bloom. The glow, remember?
Yeah, he got a power boost and it was too much. That helps my idea, not yours, idiot.
Not just the power boost. He was given all the knowledge of past holders of his archetype.
What? Are you making shit up now?
He's not, Remy interjected. We got it firsthand from our coaches. That's something that happens during a bloom.
Okay. What's your point then?
The same point I made with your syrup. You want me to believe, with generations worth of experience using blood arts on one's body, Jack didn't know how to stop a heart attack? Jojo simply raised his hands in annoyed surrender.
I guess not.
Look, I'm not entertaining this bullshit anymore. Once more, Melnick began to walk away.
You're not getting away with this. I'll make sure this gets out.
Jojo stopped in place, head turning about, looking down the hall before slowly turning back to Felix, sauntering up to the silver-haired young man.
Okay, you do that. Let's see how it turns out.
Oh, there's more sugar in his system after fighting the sugar guy.
Yeah, some proof that'll be.
Won't prove I clogged his heart with it, not even accidentally.
Even if it does, you think anyone's gonna give a shit? We're archetypes. You throw a fireball too hard, you can burn a guy to death. Shit happens. Won't get rid of me, and it won't get the old man his place back.
The two boys glared each other down, daring the other to make a move. After a moment, Melnick began to walk away again, white dust rising from his jaws unbeknownst to the demon as he took a breath, and stepped in for a punch, igniting the air. Boom! An explosion sent Felix and Remy sliding down the hall, smoke filling space as Jojo walked towards them.
Rem, you okay?
Fine. Fine. I think... What was that?
A dust explosion,
Jojo said matter-of-factly. Candy crystals orbiting his hands as his fingers danced.
You know, when Rick told me you were a violent little shit, I didn't really believe him.
He was a wild one too.
Couldn't take anything he said too seriously. Thank God those news vultures wanted a show with their interview.
Rick, I seen...
Ricky, you know Travagia. You trained him, didn't you?
Felix asked, remembering the violent man's anguish over a punk kid for a coach, eliciting a frustrated sigh and an eye roll from Melnick.
You're not new to any of this, are you?
As Felix began to rise, Jojo sent out crystals into his head, knocking the boy back down, blood spilling down his face as Melnick made another projectile.
You and that musclehead idiot are made for each other. Neither of you ever know when to just shut up and leave things alone.
Bastard! Felix groaned out.
Yes, you are.
With a clenching of his fist and a flick of his finger, Melnick turned his crystals into shrapnel, firing at the boys when the melodious voice sang out, stopping the crystals in place.
Huh?
Jesse! The boys cried out, turning to face their friend as she helped them to their feet. What's going on here?
Jessica, right? Thank God you're here.
Jojo spoke first, boyish voice returning.
These two were picking on me for no reason. I was just trying to get to the lockers and they wouldn't let me.
Fake, Jessica said bluntly, catching the boy off guard.
Uh-huh.
They're on the ground, and you're mid-killing them, idiot. The two-faced young man stared down the three fighters, debating with himself if it was worth fighting them all.
You know, you're all gonna be in trouble picking a fight with the champion just because your buddy couldn't hack it.
Jack won the tournament fair and square. You hopped in at the end to rip it away from anyone that made it, Felix spat back. Besides, once more the demon launched fire from his fist, a candy barrier immediately erected to protect Milnick. I'm the only one that picked a fight, dumbass. Punk. Remy, Jesse, stay back, please, Felix asked his friends, the two giving confused looks. I only have a temporary contract. I can afford to get in trouble here. I don't want you guys to hurt your opportunities. Smile creeping on his face, Remy put a hand on Felix's shoulder before taking his own fighting stance, Jessica joining with them. What are you... He's the champ, right? Figure you could use some help. Besides, everyone loves a loose cannon. Watch, by the end of the day, you and I are gonna be swimming in fans. You mean girls, perv, Jessica corrected, to Remy's chagrin. He's right though, for fake or not, be strong. We'll fight together.
Oh, beautiful!
Jojo said sarcastically, for firing a salvo of candy shrapnel, Remy stepping to catch it all with one lone hand. Call, great! While crystals spun around the gambler, Felix moved into a melee with Melnick, flames melting through sugar as the sweet blocked the demon's attacks. Sweeping his arm near his leg, Jojo turned some of the caramelized sugar into daggers, attempting to fling them into Felix's side, only for the siren's voice to halt them in place, crystals shattering into the wall. Bet's mine, Remy called out, the many shrapnel pieces merging into a red candy sphere a little smaller than a basketball. With a grunt, Remy punched the sugar ball towards the confused Jojo, only for the boy to force his hand up, point his thumb clenched behind his head, a caramel wall solidifying into a slide, curving away from Melnick, and into Jessica's head. The orb shattered against the girl's head like glass, knocking her to the floor, blood flowing from her head as she struggled to keep conscious. Jessica! Remy cried out, moving to check on his downed friend while Jojo shifted his foot towards him, hot caramel sludge sliding to capture Jupade's foot before solidifying, trapping him onto the floor, burning his flesh. A horrified look flashed across Felix's face, quickly replaced with contempt, as he swung wildly at Jojo, heated fist burning into the candy walls, but doing little to get past them.
What happened to the fire? Get cold after seeing your friends pay for your mess?
Fire leaked from the demon's mouth as he hissed, holding back a desire to roar out as every attack he threw was blocked, dodged, or parried, caramel piling onto the ground. Tiring of the fight, Jojo pushed away straight from Felix and sent him flying back with a blast of caramel to the chest, solidifying it to a trap next to his friends. Damn it! Can't move! Gave a dive! The trio watched as Jojo gathered his melted sugar into one mass, growing it, elongating it, till finally solidifying it into a massive candy spear.
You're the only one that picked that fight, right? Then you can take responsibility, while I take your leg.
Felix growled and grit his teeth as the spear was aimed towards him, self-heating, not melting his confines fast enough.
Told ya. Shit happens. We'll chalk this up to a sparring match gone wrong. Save you some face.
With the last remark, Melnick threw his spear at Felix's leg. The young man desperately trying to escape his confines, light filling his eyes before becoming an endless block, smile curling on his face. However, both darkness and smile faded, replaced by shock at the sight before Felix. Dead? The older Valtorez man had rushed in front of his son and caught the candy spear, dropping onto a crouch as he did. Jojo cried out, his arm suddenly feeling very heavy, pulling him to the floor while Jonathan dashed towards the boy. With a primal growl, the demon's father pushed the shaft of the spear into the staggering young man, smashing it into his face. Yeah! Melnick cried out, hands clutching his nose, blood spilling profusely as the Old Vela Torres rolled a large piece of caramel up Jojo's back onto his neck, keeping his arms up while pinning him down. You... who the hell are you? Just a concerned parent, John responded, walking up to the trio on the ground, picking up his cane before smashing Felix and Remy's confines with it. The boys immediately turned to check on their friend. John pulled them back by their collars to check on her himself, gently brushing her hair aside to check the damage, patting her wound with a handkerchief from his suit pocket. Is she okay? The damage isn't too bad. Archetype bodies can handle a lot. She's unconscious, but that's to be expected, with strong blows to the head. Felix, do you know how to phase? Phase? What? No, I... Take it easy, son. Just ask. Jonathan gently scooped Jessica into his arms, Melnick managing to disintegrate the crystal as he did. You assholes! I'll make you all pay for this! I'll tell everyone you ganged up on me! You'll be ruined! You gonna tell them the part where the old man with a bum leg and no archetype broke your nose, too? Fight's over. Piss off. Now. Jojo glared down the father for a moment, contempt clear in his gaze as he met with the man's. But there was something far more dangerous in John's. Killing intent. Pure, blunt, and merciless. A chill ran up Melnick's spine, heart skipping a beat before the boy reluctantly turned away. Come on, boys. Let's get to a nursing station. Nodding, the two fighters followed John, bitter defeat fresh on their lips as they walked, reflecting on their battle and what was to come of it. It's this guy again. This was the thought that ran through Felix's mind as he sat down across the desk, the man before him being the same that convinced him to sign in the first place. It had been about a week since the Greenhorn tournament ended, and his temporary contract was now up for review. Felix! How you been, kid? Fine, I guess. A little surreal not going to the gym every day. yeah, I bet. That's how we get you see? You become a habit in people's life, and soon enough, you're, well, like a drug. Interesting analogy. So, have you thought about renewing your contract? Actually, I was wondering about someone else's. Oh? King Jake. Are you really dropping him? The interviewer pursed his lips, hunting for the right response a moment before leaning back. Have you visited him in the hospital? No, I tried, but I'm not in the visitation list and haven't contacted his coach yet. Right. Well, kid, if you're here to try and give your spot to Mr. Jack, you can't do that. Why not? Easy. Look, Felix, if he was in better shape, we might accommodate it. That's the kind of shit that makes headlines. Demon gives career to revive fallen warrior. People would eat that up, but according to his coach and his agent, Jack's in bad shape. Part of his heart is damaged so badly, even the healers can only do so much. It'll be a while before he'll be okay, and even then, with the damage to his heart, I don't know if he'll be able to bend again, let alone fight. I see. Felix clenched his fists together tightly, head hung to hide his frustration, body trembling as the fury he mourned for his friend. Jack didn't deserve this. He should be champion. He should be celebrating his dreams coming true. He finally got what he worked for. That bastard took it. Can't even trade places with him. I'm still here. Jack worked his whole life for this. I bumbled my way in, and I'm still... Something up, kid? I'm still here, Felix mumbled, thumb to his lip. Huh? The young man contemplated something for a long moment before sitting up, eyes burning with newfound purpose as he spoke. Has Jojo Melnick been here yet? I know from Remy Jupardet and Jessica Vokrant that you're doing interviews with everyone. No. The champ does have an interview with me coming up, though. Why? If I can't give my spot to Jack,
and I would like to renew my contract with Cafabe, make it an annual one.
The interviewer's face lit up as he quickly brought out the paperwork. A great choice, kid. You won't regret it. You just need to... One more thing. Felix looked the interviewer dead in the eyes, royal blue coloring the boy's irises, dark determination on his face as the future flashed before him.
When the champion shows up, tell him I'm gonna make him pay.